People are buying homes on speculation, trying to, flip them, make a profit on them. Okay. Why are house prices so high in Ontario right now? Why do they keep going up? Who is to blame? What is to blame? There must be some reason for all of this. If this is how you're feeling, you are certainly not alone. I get asked this question so much, and I hear such a wide variety of opinions on why house prices are performing the way that they are, that I felt like I really wanted to make this video to shed some light, hopefully, on why we're seeing this massive growth in housing prices. So stick around to the end, because I also want to give you a couple of tips and tricks for dealing with this current frenzied real estate market that we're in. But before that, let's talk about some of the most common reasons that I hear why housing prices are so expensive right now. The first one is obviously low interest rates. I get this totally. Low interest rates definitely fuel people to borrow more money, take on larger purchases, be more aggressive with their spending. It's increasing the rate of inflation, which is making people want to invest their money and leverage their money, because the value of a dollar is obviously going down every single day that it sits in your bank account. So low interest rates, I do get it. I think that if interest rates were to rise significantly, it would cool off the market. But I don't think that low interest rates can completely explain what is happening right now. How about investors? Investors, definitely, that could explain some of what's happening right now. People are buying homes on speculation, trying to, flip them, make a profit on them. Of course, that is having some effect on the market. But I also think that almost every single market has investors in it, and those markets are not doing the exact same thing as what's happening here. So is investors the only reason? I don't think I could say that's the case. How about foreign investors? Maybe it's the foreign investors. Maybe it's people from overseas or in different countries or different continents buying all of the real estate that we have here in Canada. Hey, that could definitely play a part. But if you actually look at the stats, only about 3.4% of the province's homes that changed hands or that were bought in 2020 were due to foreign buyers. We also have a foreign buyer speculation tax that we put into place in 2018, which has been curbing a little bit of the foreign investment. But I also think that this is natural. Almost every market probably has some level of foreign investment in it, and those markets are not going as crazy as Ontario. So what is the real reason here? I think that all the factors I just mentioned here are leading to an increase in housing prices. Don't get me wrong. I think that they are all factors, but I don't think that any single one of them can shoulder all of the blame or all of the guilt on what's actually happening right now. So I'm going to read you a news bulletin actually that was released by the Toronto Regional Real Estate Board, and I'm going to throw up some numbers on the screen here. Ontario must build 1.5 million new houses over the next 10 years to address the supply shortage. Let me read that one more time, just in case you missed that. Ontario must build 1.5 million new houses over the next 10 years to address the supply shortage. So let's break that down into what this figure actually means. Let's assume that the average new housing community of, townhomes and detached homes has about 150 units in it. That would mean we need 10,000 new housing communities. And let's also assume that the average condo building has about 500 units in it. Of course, some are taller, some have more, some are a little bit shorter, low rise, they're gonna have less. But at a 500 unit average, that is 3,000 new buildings that we must build. And this is just to get our housing supply up to the level that it needs to be. This is not to give an excess amount of housing, or this is not to say that we're going to have, abundance of supply and everyone's going to get to own 5 houses. This is just to get our supply up to where it should be. You also might say, hey, Christian, this is only one report. This is only one article. Well, actually, there was also another report released by Scotiabank reporting that Ontario would need to add an additional 650,000 new dwellings right now just to bring our average up to the national average. And this, again, this is not to say that we would have excess housing or everyone would get to own 5 houses. This is just to bring our housing up to the national average. So it's pretty clear by this point that housing supply is a major issue not only in the GTA, but also in Ontario. Got major population growth happening, both from our own natural population expanding and also from immigration and newcomers into the country. So we understand what the problem is now. The answer has always been a supply issue. All of the taxes, all of the different tactics or techniques that the government has used to tackle our housing crisis so far has all been demand-based. Foreign buyer tax, stress test. They're even talking about putting a tax on your primary residence, when you sell your primary residence right now. These are all tactics to cool off the demand, but the reason they don't work long term is because they don't fix the underlying supply issue, which is the root cause of all this. So the obvious answer is build more houses. A lot more houses, but this is something that's out of control for most of us, right? There's political factors at stake here, how much land we will allow building on, the density, the zoning of the land. A lot of our land around the GTA here and north of the GTA is all green belt, which is not allowed to be built on. The difficulty for builders to get approvals, and again, how much density they're allowed to build when they do get approvals. These are all political issues, or most of them are political issues anyways. These are mostly things that are out of our own control, right? They're in somebody else's hands. We can't really do too much about them. So let's talk about some of the strategies for adapting to this market and its reality. Before we get into it, don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you are enjoying the real estate content or not. Totally up to you. It would help my channel grow and I really appreciate it, but totally, it's your choice. I get it if you don't. My first advice to you is stepping stones, especially if you're a first-time home buyer. Getting your foot in the door. We know supply is low and population continuously growing. So getting your foot just in the door, that initial time to get that stepping stone is going to be so monumental for you. In this marketplace, nobody's starting off with that dream house unless you're extremely fortunate or, maybe just won the lottery. You're probably not going to start off with the dream house. You're going to start off with that stepping stone. You're going to stay there for about 3 to 5 years. You may or may not love it, but you're going to love where it gets you in 3 to 5 years from now when you're able to move up the ladder into housing that might be more your taste. Another great idea here, house hacking. So instead of incurring all the expenses on your own, you can find a place that may have some rental opportunity for you, whether it's a basement rental or if you're moving into a condo. Maybe you can even do a room rental where you have a friend or a family member live with you in a different bedroom, helping you pay off that mortgage. With people obviously taking on more debt and that, those mortgage payments are growing, doing a little bit of house hacking, such as, renting out a portion of the house or even a portion of your condo if you're cool with it, definitely can help with your affordability. My last tip is to do all your homework ahead of time. Getting your pre-approval done, inspection done, status certificate reviewed. What I'm finding right now is it's the most prepared buyer that's usually winning the home. You may be even willing to offer more than some other purchasers, but the purchaser who's already done all their homework, they're able to, they already know their financing's lined up, they've got the status certificate reviewed. These people are generally winning the homes because they've done their homework, right? So putting a strategy together with your agent is going to be paramount to your success in this housing market. It's just not as easy as going out there, taking a look at a couple of houses and writing a couple of offers to get a property. If you want to actually win a property in a very competitive marketplace like this, that strategy and that connection that you have with your agent is so important, and it's going to be make or break when it gets into offer time. Remember, if you do want to connect with me about real estate, all you have to do is hit the link in the description down below to book a buyer or seller consultation, or just chat about the real estate market. Whatever you want to chat about, I look forward to connecting with you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.